and welcome to my YouTube Live today. So I'm going to try to come to you guys every Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. on this YouTube channel to give you guys some live gardening tips, and I'm always going to try to answer some of your garden questions, throughout the video, but mostly like towards the end of the video, especially from in front of the camera, because sometimes it's hard for me to see them. But post those questions anyways, they come up, because a lot of times I can go back and take a look at them and I'll try to tackle them in comments below. So check that out. So if we haven't met yet, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kelly Lehman. I'm the owner of Cranbury Fields Flower Farm here in Cranbury, New Jersey, and I love giving you guys free flower tips. So please feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell notification so you know whenever I post another free flower tip video. So guys, really exciting news today. ProPlugger 5-in-1 garden tool. They sent me over this tool and I love using it. They sent me one a few years ago and I use it to death, but they were awesome. They gave me like a brand new one because we're doing some work together. But they're giving away 3 of these garden tools to our flower tribe. So we have a contest that begins today. We're going to actually choose a winner next Wednesday. I'm going to actually post all that stuff, but all the contest rules are in descriptions below, and I'll tell you about it now, how to enter, and I'll also tell you about it towards like the end of the video. So here's the story, guys. This is a terrific tool to help you plant all of your bulbs, and I use this to plant my fall bulbs like my daffodils, my tulips, my alliums, and those are the flowers that come up in springtime. But then in the spring, I also use this tool to plant all of my gladiolas and some of the flowers that pop up in summer. So here's the way to win one of these guys. So this is how the contest works. In comments below on this YouTube video, you just write the words ProPlugger Please, and that's it, you're entered. And you can also get another entry by hopping over to my Cranbury Fields Instagram channel and writing the same thing, just ProPlugger Please. We're going to put up a post later on today. And actually, I have a reel that just went up. So if you can put that on the reel, you'll see me kind of holding this tool. And you could just write ProPlugger Please. That means you got another entry. And then if you want to get a double entry, hop on over to my Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group. And you'll get an entry to win a ProPlugger. But you'll also get an entry to win some of my sunflower seeds, because we've been collecting those from our sunflowers that are just like bursting in the field with their sunflower seeds. And we're harvesting them to plant for next year, and I wanted to give some of those away too. So if you hop on over to that Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group, you get 2 entries, and it's a really great community of gardeners from all around the world over there, and they're posting pictures of their own beautiful flowers, and they're asking and answering tons of garden questions there. And for those of you that are over there, how about that Michael LeBlanc's roses? Did you guys see that? He posted a rose that like changes color. I was like, what is this? It was amazing. So check that out. Somebody else wrote this, asked a garden question. You ever see those like giant, juicy looking weeds? They look like they have like little blueberries or like these bright purple things at the end of them. They were like, hey, can you guys tell me what this is? And like all these people wrote, they said it's called pokeweed or pokeyweed. And they were saying, it's a lot of parts of the plant are poisonous, you should remove it, and it stains clothing. So just like a super helpful group over there. I love going over there and see the garden chit chat, and there's a lot of friendships being made there, and there's like over 4,000 gardeners there, and they're from all over the world. So check that out. But all right, let's dive right in. I wanted to show you some of the, just like before we get into the bulb planting, I want to show you some of these beautiful hydrangeas that are still coming in strong, guys, in our garden. And these are some of the arrangements that are going out today. And this is actually a giant arrangement that's going out today. And we used a lot of these beautiful hydrangeas, but then we also like to get creative, and we use things like blueberry bush like leaves right now, because this is the color that they get this time of year, which is so beautiful. And we also have some burning bush that's in there also. So like, let me see if I could find some of those. They're floating. Oh, there's one right there. So we got some burning bush that are actually, I'm going to put this down so we can get a better picture of it. Here's one over here. So if you've got some burning bush, bushes that are in your landscaping, they look really beautiful in some of your flower arrangements. And then we just added some zinnias that are still coming in strong, guys. These guys are probably going to wind up blooming all the way until the frost. And then we've got some variegated leaves, and we added some astros, some beautiful roses. So that's what one of the arrangements looks like. And then I wanted to also show you one of our little pumpkin arrangements. So I'm sorry, let me take a look over here. Tell me. Yeah. Oh, guys, can you let me know if you can hear me, because I feel like I'm not sure if the audio is working very good. So if you can, give me a thumbs up and let me know where you guys are viewing this from, just to make sure that you guys can all hear me right now. Sometimes sometimes like the audio's off. So let me know if you can either give me a thumbs up or like a comment to say the audio is okay. That would be helpful. So guys, this is one of our pumpkin arrangements, and you can either, oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Okay, great. Nothing like lip syncing over here. So you can either build out pumpkin arrangements from like a fresh pumpkin that you carve the inside out of, and you could just put some like Oasis foam inside that's been soaked in water, and then you can add some of your own beautiful flowers from your gardens to it. Or you can use like a store-bought vase. So I think this one you can probably find it either like Michael's or AC Moore's or a couple bucks. But I like using the pumpkins that are actually vases instead of the fresh ones, because the fresh ones seem to like rot out after like 3 or 4 days, and then you get like the fruit flies, and then it kind of smells a little bit in the kitchen. So it's a really cool look if you're going to use the flowers for like same day. But if you want a longer lasting look for your pumpkin arrangements, just get one of those. Like I'm sure that Amazon has them online. So check those out. And yeah, so this is what our pumpkin arrangements look like. So I always love showing you guys what's going out the barn doors each week. Okay, so let's dive into some of this bulb planting. Oh, and guys, keep in mind, do not prune back your hydrangeas this time of year. And I just did a Facebook post on our Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group showing you why, because you know I had to actually prune one of my back a few weeks ago because I had like an ivy issue over it, and it's got all this new growth stemming from it now, which makes me happy because I know that I saved the plant. But it's not a great idea to have all that new growth coming this time of year. So if you have a healthy a hydrangea plant like the limelight that I have back here, hold off on pruning it in fall, because I can't think of any hydrangeas that benefit from like a fall pruning. And I have a ton of a whole bunch of like hydrangea videos and descriptions below, and you could check out your specific types of hydrangeas and I'll tell you exactly how to prune it. But hold off on the pruning this time of year. Okay, so here's the story, guys. So it is October in my New Jersey garden. We're planting hardiness zone 6, and now is the best time to put in your tulips, your daffodils, your alliums, all those fall bulbs. And what I do is I come out to my garden and I'll look for spots that are kind of like empty. So like I've got a peony plant that's up here. I've got a ton of black-eyed Susans that are in back of it, and I've got like a little bit of like dead real estate over here. There's like nothing coming up. So that's when this ProPlugger tool comes in handy, because sometimes what I'll do is I'll come out here with you know, like a tool like this, and I'll do like a mass planting, and I'll come out here and I'll kind of dig everything up where I want it to be, and I'll put a whole load of them. But sometimes I don't have a big area like this. So when you have you know, like smaller, more confined areas, a lot of times I'll go all around my garden, and basically this tool works like this. It's great for your back because you don't have to actually, you know, like kneel down. So you just basically put it in the ground, you step on it, goes in, you give it a twist, and it pops out a hole. And what's great is it will give you different size holes because it's got a few different rings. It's got like a 2-inch ring, a 4-inch ring, a 6-inch ring. And then what happens is you can basically pop out the dirt from the bottom. You just gotta give it a little boom, and that dirt plug goes out, and that's what you can use to, like, you know, refill the hole. So I could do a whole bunch of those, and I do it really fast. So look how fast this job goes. And you could do a whole bunch at one time. You don't have to keep emptying out the hole every time that you do it. How fun is that? Let me do one more up here. And then all that dirt, guys, comes right out. So it comes out by itself, or you kind of just give it like a little push and it all comes out. And this is a great tool to also get rid of some of your weeds. So you can get some of the weeds in here, you push it down and it pulls it out by the actual root. So this is the tool that we're giving away. And thank you, Jeannie from ProPlugger. We really appreciate that. So let me show you guys what I do next after I dig some of my holes. So the first thing I actually did before I even dug my holes was I made sure that I found a spot that was like super sunny. So like most of these bulbs that we're planting, or all the bulbs that we're planting, these tulips, these daffodils, these alliums, they like to have a lot of sun. So we chose a sunny area, and I wound up taking a look at how large the bulbs were. And the rule of thumb with your bulbs is you're going to wind up planting it pointy side up. That's really important. So you want to make sure that these little points are facing up. And the rule of thumb is that you're going to dig a hole that's 2 to 3 times the size of the actual bulb. Because what you want to do is you want to get it in the ground, and then you want to have like 2 times the size of the bulb worth of dirt on top of it. And then you can kind of sprinkle a little bit of mulch on top if you want. So some of the smaller bulbs that you have, you might only put in the ground, say like 2 or 3 inches. But some of the larger ones, you're going to wind up putting them in the ground like 6 inches. So if you have like a 2-inch bulb, you're going to wind up like, either doubling or tripling that size. So the 2-inch bulbs, I would usually plant in the ground about 6 inches. But if you're not sure of exactly what to do with the bulb that you have, because they come in all different sizes. I mean, some of the allium bulbs, they're like tremendous. Some of those you might have to plant like 8 inches deep. But here's the thing, guys. On the back of your planting package, like the bulb package, they're going to tell you the exact depth. So check this out. So this is a smaller allium plant that I have. It's not like those big giant ones. This is a smaller one. And it says plant it 5 inches deep. And then the one over here that I have for tulips, it says to plant this one 5 inches deep. So the best bet is to check out the exact depth that actual bulb tells you to do, because some of the smaller ones you might only do like 2 or 3 inches. And so guys, basically when I put them in, I'll do some in groupings because I love doing a lot of these bulbs in like mass plantings, mass groupings. And so it looks something like this once I have it in the ground. Notice how everything's like, pointy side up. Sometimes it's hard to tell, guys. Like this one was hard to tell, so sometimes you have to play with it. And sometimes these little papery parts kind of peel off of it. Don't panic, it's okay, it's not a big deal. And I'll put it in this way. But guys, even if you plant it upside down by accident, like you might have already done some fall planting, and you might have said, oh no, I put everything in the ground, like this, what am I going to do? Don't panic, because the nice thing about plants is that they want to live. And so chances are they're going to wind up coming up anyway, but it's going to take them a little bit longer to kind of, because the stem's going to come from that point. But if you planted it upside down, it's going to have to, go through the ground and then come back up and find the air. So it might just take a little bit longer. It might not be as tall. It's not the end of the world by any means. But when you're planting it, now that you know the rule, pointy side up is key. And then once you get them in, some people, you're going to wind up watering them. But some people like to wind up putting a little bit of bulb tone in the hole, like ahead of time. Like they'll take some fertilizer and they'll just sprinkle it in. To give it like a little extra food. And other people like to put a little bit of peat moss in there, because peat moss is going to have a little like extra, it's going to like help with the drainage. So especially if you have like clay soil where it's really hard for that water to drain through, you might want to add a little bit of peat moss for that, because bulbs also love well-drained soil. So that's the story with that. So here's what I would do with some of these bulbs here. So I just kind of pop them in once I have all these holes made. And now I could just bury them. Oops, this guy, I don't know if you're pointy side up or not. Yes, you are. And then I just kind of crumple it, bury it, crumple it, bury it, crumple it, bury it. And then that's the story. And then you just water it in, and they are going to wind up coming up next spring. And guys, here's like just a couple rules of thumb with some of your bulbs. So rabbits tend to stay away from daffodils, because daffodils have something inside their stems called lycorine, which makes their stomachs upset. So the deer stay away from them. Most of the critters, chipmunks, stay away from them too. Same thing with alliums. Alliums have like an oniony smell, so a lot of the critters stay away from the alliums. Tulips, they tend to love to eat. So if you know that you have a critter problem, or like you live close to the woods, you might want to consider planting a lot of daffodils and alliums, because you're going to avoid that critter problem. So that's the story with our bulbs today. And what else did I want to show you guys? Hold on, I always have a whole little playlist here of some of the stuff I wanted to show you. Lucy, of course, is in tow. Oh, guys, today's cup of coffee was provided by an anonymous Flower Tribe member. Thank you so much for today's cup of caffeine. If you guys are enjoying my flower tips, know that you can always buy me a cup of coffee. There is a link in descriptions below to let you know about our supporters page. If not, don't worry, I'm always going to bring you these fun-free flower tips every week either way. So thank you for joining me. That means a lot. And if you could just give me like a thumbs up or a comment, that always helps also. So I hope you guys can join us for our contest. We're going to announce the winners on the 27th, which is like next week. And we're going to announce the winners before 5 o'clock on my Instagram page and on our Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook page. And we'll also announce it you know, like all over the social media so you'll know. I'll also direct message the people that wind up winning. And there's all the rules and descriptions below. And all right, guys, if you have some questions, I'd like to take some of those. So let's take a couple minutes. Let me grab my little cup of coffee here quick, take a quick slug, and then I'll try to answer some questions. How pretty are these hydrangeas? Guys, also know that my flower course is going to help you, and that's in descriptions below to grow how to grow these beautiful things. Hey, Eric, good morning from Connecticut. Can you please provide a link to the tool you're using? Oh, yes, I'm glad you said that, Eric. I actually did already. I'm so glad you brought that up. There is a link to the ProPlugger tool. It's already in descriptions below, and it's on my Amazon shop page, and I think you're going to love it. You know, it's also a great gardener's gift. So if you guys are looking for a gift for the gardeners in your life, the ProPlugger 5-in-1 garden tool is awesome, but also consider taking a look at some of my online flower courses. There's descriptions below, a link also for that, and it will show you some of the online flower courses that we have available, and that makes for a great gift also. So I'm going to wait a couple more minutes, guys, just in case you have a couple more questions. And I like to kind of field those. And thanks so much for showing up, guys. I love seeing you guys here. Please let me know where you're viewing this from. I love to see if you guys are, you know, from which state you're from or from which country, because that's always fun for me. Let me know what the weather's like. Loretta, do you plant ranunculus? I don't. I want to. If so, when? You're in the same. Yeah, we have to figure that out. That and Lysianthus I have to figure out. What are the best spring bulbs to do in pots? Oh, any of the ones I just talked about. Daffodils are amazing. I'm glad you brought that up. I also do a ton of tulips in pots. Alliums I love, but you have to make sure that like the big giant gladiator ones that are huge, I'm not sure how well they do in pots, but unless you have a giant, oh, thank you, Alina Torres. The courses are awesome. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm actually, that's, you know, great inspiration. I'm actually going to show you guys how to plant bulbs in pots because of your comment. Thank you for that. Hey, Lori. Thanks for checking in from Ontario. I love when you guys let me know where you're from.